Many people will tell you to pick one thing, master it. Don't spread yourself too thin. I used to believe that too. Then I looked at my week, making YouTube videos, trying to squeeze in chess practice whenever I can, practicing piano, trying to learn 2 languages. So which is it? Am I disciplined or am I just someone who can't commit to anything? Turns out it's neither. I'm not trying to master everything. I've actually only got 2 things I'm serious about. 2 things which I actually care about mastering. YouTube and chess. Not piano, not French or German, not football or go-karting. Those things do matter to me, and I'll get to why. But if you ask me, my 2 major things that I'm pursuing, it's YouTube and chess. YouTube, because it's the way I tell the truth about my life. Not the polished version, but my actual life. And chess, because outside of the chessboard, it's teaching me how to think, how to plan, how to not panic when things go wrong. Everything else I do is in service of these 2 things. It doesn't compete with them. So let's start with chess. Right now, I'm at around 700 to 800 ELO. Now, for context, complete beginners are at 0. Maybe not even 0, maybe like 200 or 300. And the world champion is at, what is the world champion at? Alexa, what ELO is Magnus Carlsen?
Magnus Carlsen's ELO rating was 2,840 in March 2026.
The high 2000s, that's world champion grandmaster level. I'm way below that. But for me, what I would call mastering with the time which I have on my hands, I'm aiming for 1,000. Most of my games are 10-minute rapid games against someone online, someone random. Some of my games are against bots, which I play when I don't want to harm my win-loss ratio too much. And I recently bought a book called How to Win at Chess, which I still haven't finished. So no, I'm not super disciplined about chess. It's the thing I squeeze in. But squeezed in or not, it's already changing how I operate. And because I've seen that progress, I want to get way more serious about it. For example, it teaches you so many principles. For instance, in chess, if you get the opening wrong, everything after that is an uphill battle. No amount of excellent play and strategic play can redeem that, unless you're a genius. And I noticed that's exactly how my day works as well. If I stay in bed past midday, I write the whole day off as a failure and I'll try again tomorrow. It's happened with things like editing. I'll tell myself, I'm too tired to start editing this video. If I start now, I won't be able to focus properly. And then the video that was supposed to go up that week doesn't. Chess is also a wonderful way to learn how to slow down. If you rush a move, you might lose your queen. Likewise, in my job as a data scientist, if I rush to write a line of code, I might miss a bug that breaks everything else downstream. I'm now able to catch mistakes which I wouldn't have caught years ago because chess trained me to double check before I commit. Obviously, I spoke about how crucial the opening is in chess, but here's the thing. Under very rare circumstances, if you really focus and you lock in and you make good decisions in the middle game, you can redeem yourself sometimes. It's rare, but it can happen. And that's true for my days as well. When I catch myself just about to write a day off and I'm tempted to say, we'll do it tomorrow instead, I use this timer. It's called a Pomodoro timer. Very strange name. You can just set 25 minutes on it. I use it to begin to regain my focus. Most of the time, 1 block of focus turns into 3, and the day that was supposedly written off ends up with a decent amount of work done. So that's chess, but it doesn't run on its own. To play chess, I need energy. It's a very mentally taxing thing. And to get that energy, I gain it from somewhere else entirely. Piano, languages, football, sometimes go-karting. I'm not trying to master any of these things, but to build the emotional muscle, the consistency and the energy which I need for the 2 things which I'm trying to master. For instance, when I was younger, piano exams forced me to learn pieces from scratch. You'd sit with the same 4 bars of music for days, practicing the same thing. Mistake, mistake, mistake. Then until eventually you're you have to practice that over and over and over again until you want to throw your sheet music across the room. But eventually something clicks and you can play the whole thing. I didn't realize it at the time, but that process, hating the repetition, then feeling the satisfaction afterwards. It's the exact same process I go through when learning a new concept or learning anything new. Language has taught me something a bit different. I've got a streak on Duolingo, which I've been building for years. Most days it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's less. And if I'm honest, my German still falls apart the second a real German person speaks back to me at normal speed. My French is even worse. So by any serious measure, I haven't mastered either of these languages. But that was never really the point. What French and German give me is proof that showing up on the days that you don't feel like it is actually what compounds. I've done a lesson at an airport gate at 6 a.m, half asleep, just so the streak wouldn't break. On its own, that's a small, slightly ridiculous thing to care about, but it's the same muscle that I use when I sit down to edit on a Sunday when I'd rather do anything else. Football is the same. It doesn't feel like effort in the way that piano or Duolingo do. It's just fun. But I've noticed something. The weeks that I skip football, I feel it. Not physically, but mentally and even spiritually. No, spiritually is too far, but emotionally at least. I'm less able to sit down and just work instead of deciding to stare into space. I come off the pitch feeling energized. So overall, my aim isn't to get better at football. Obviously, I don't mind. If it happens, it happens. But what it's supposed to do is refill my energy so I can show up better for my main goals. That's what these side things are actually for. Not to be mastered themselves, but to build the emotional muscle, the energy which I need for the two things which I'm actually trying to master. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, aren't you just still doing 5 hobbies, but you're just calling it something different? I hear you, but no. Here's the difference. None of chess, piano, languages, football, or go-karting get my best hours of the day. Data science gets my best hours at work, obviously. Then YouTube and chess get whatever's left of my after work energy. Piano gets whatever's left after that. It's about which things get the best of my energy. And it's not too difficult to tell. You can tell when you're operating at maximum efficiency. It's something you can feel, and I choose to spend that time on things which actually matter to me the most. That's the full picture in chess and the side hobbies which are quietly holding it up. Now let's talk about the other main thing, YouTube. For me, mastering YouTube isn't about hitting a subscriber number, even though I do have one in mind, but it's about consistency, actually showing up every week, not just when I feel inspired. And it's about making something worth watching twice, not content for the sake of content, but something that shows a real part of me and makes someone want to click the next video, not just this one. So I hope you do the same. I don't know, it sounds simple. In principle, it's simple, right? Until you actually try to live it. There was a week not long ago where I had nothing filmed by Wednesday. Work had taken more out of me than usual, and every instinct I had said, push the video to next week. It'll be fine. But I'd already told myself that Sunday was a non-negotiable. So I filmed it when I didn't feel like filming. I edited it quickly, then I managed to fix the edits by the next morning. It wasn't my best video, but it was proof to myself that the schedule doesn't bend just because the week was a bit different from normal. The schedule is the schedule and it has to be respected. If this YouTube thing opens doors like speaking opportunities or meeting people who I otherwise wouldn't have met, or maybe even some income one day, good. But I already have a job that pays the bills. So this doesn't have to make money for it to be worth mastering. And that mindset is so key because it allows me to pursue it for the love of the art, for the love of making good videos, for the love of telling my story in the best way. Whereas when you're optimizing for money, you approach tasks differently and people can feel it. People know when you're just trying to eventually sell them something compared to if you're just doing something because you like to do it. So why go all in on 2 things instead of spreading myself across everything? The reason is, mastering one thing doesn't close doors, it opens them. Sometimes literally. The time which I've put into data science is what pays for a videographer on the shots that I can't do myself. For example, the car video which you will see on my channel. There was no way I was going to be setting up a camera and driving at the same time. Someone else had to hold the camera. Someone else had to film me doing different things. And I could pay for that person because of the skill which I had already mastered. That came from years of getting good at something entirely unrelated to YouTube and letting that fund the patience to do YouTube properly instead of urgently. That's what mastering two things actually buys you. Not just results in those two areas, but a kind of momentum that spills into everything else. So here's what I'd say to you. If you feel guilty about only focusing on one thing, don't feel guilty about it. It's fine. Pick one or two things that you actually want to master right now. Let everything else serve those instead of competing with them. And they don't have to be the same two things forever. When I was younger, music was one of the things which I went all in on. I was getting proper lessons, doing proper exams, practicing for hours, and actually trying to be good, not just able to play. That's different from how I play piano now, which is more relaxed. It's more of a side thing. Later on, my main thing became having a good physique. Now it's YouTube and chess. The things you are trying to master can change as you change. What matters is that at any given time, you know what they are and you're trying to master them. Saying that out loud used to feel uncomfortable. Telling someone, I'm not trying to get good at French or that piano is never going to be a serious pursuit again, felt like admitting giving up on something. But it isn't. It's just being clear about where you want your best hours to actually go. If you're watching this and you've got 5 things you're half doing, I'm not telling you to drop 4 of them. Keep them. They might be exactly the things which are quietly keeping the 5th one possible just by keeping you sane. The way piano and Duolingo and football are doing for me right now. Just ask yourself the question, which one or 2 of those things would you still protect if your whole week got cut in half? Those 2 things are usually the things which you should spend time mastering. You don't need to pursue excellence in everything you're doing. Pursue excellence in the right things for this season, and everything else will find its place around that.